one in Germany, scored one in South Africa, and that's a moment he won't forget in a hurry, his goal coming just before half-time. Liam Brady, assess what we've seen in the first half.
Well, I thought the Dutch were fortunate to go in at half-time with that equaliser. I thought their tactics were bordering on being very unsavoury. They were fouling a lot. Instead of closing down and trying to win the ball, they were just resorting to cynical fouls, and that wasn't what I was expecting from Van Gaal's team. But there are times when they have got in behind the Spanish defence. It doesn't look at all safe, you know, and you saw that when Robin van Persie scored. But I thought Spain played their way into the game, and after 15 and 20 minutes began to get a grip in midfield, and they got the breakthrough with the goal, and they should have doubled up with David Silva. Great ball from Iniesta. He should have scored, and then 2-0 we would have probably been talking about how good Spain were and how poor the Dutch were. But as football throws up, they find that equaliser, and we're going in at half-time, and maybe the Dutch fans might say, well, our tactics were right, but I didn't like them, Darren.
We're talking about another refereeing decision. Now, Rizzoli is the Champions League final from 2013, very experienced official. Was this a penalty? Was it a foul on Diego Costa? Richie?
I think it was an incorrect decision, and the replay here will show why. I mean, it's good play from Spain. They did what we know they can do. Costa is on the ball, and De Vrij comes over, goes to ground and slides past him, and we'll see the replay here. What De Vrij does is, you can be critical of a player for going to ground, but so what? Players are allowed to be as bad as they like. The referee shouldn't punish them by giving a penalty kick. He goes to ground, and Costa's left leg stands on the defender, and because the defender is sliding away, you can see it better here, his momentum carries him away. So Costa lost his footing because he stood on a player that was sliding past him.
Basically. So he tricked the referee?
Well, I don't know whether it would be very quick thinking to think all of that instinctively on the spot, but it was an incorrect decision. To give the benefit to the referee, I think it was a difficult decision for him to make, because it all happened so quickly. Yeah. There was contact, but I don't know what his view was to whether he realised that the contact was from Costa on the foot of the defender. It was an incorrect decision, and I don't think it should have been.
Richie, De Vrij, 22 or 42, you don't make that tackle in the box at that time.
No,
it's just got to stand up.
It is poor defending,
it doesn't
but
he's give the referee the opportunity, or he's give Costa the opportunity to go down. If he stands up, it doesn't happen.
He's on his poorest foot. He's at an angle. I think Ronnie's right. You go there and you hold your ground and you put it up to Costa. What are you going to do? But he's made it easy for the referee, and it was a very difficult decision for the referee because there was contact. But I agree with Richie that I think Costa waited for the contact.
We can be critical. We have been critical of officials, very critical of them. But there, though he got it wrong, I think it was a tough call to make.
We've had one glance, Ronnie, at Van Persie's goal. We're going to have another one. Enjoy it again.
Halfway through the game, I was wondering if he was on the pitch because I hadn't heard his name mentioned at all. But what a brilliant goal, and what a brilliant ball by Blin. There's probably 2 or 3 times now the ball has been put in behind the Spanish defence and they've been cut out. But you look at Piqué, drops right off with Robin. And then Ramos is the one that's cut out because he can run in behind now, Van Persie. But what vision. He sees the goalkeeper and it's the dive and head it high and just loop it over him. Brilliant, the way he's done it. And when you see it from the front, when he landed on his face and everything, but it was just a brilliant. They don't deserve to be 1-1, but that's what happens in football. If you give them chances, they'll go and score.
The awareness to see that was on and to be able to execute it as well as that. Brilliant, brilliant skill.
Liam, you mentioned the Dutch tactics and their approach, and a lot of the preview material we were told that Van Gaal is a total football disciple and stuff, and that. But is this the same as 4 years ago? Roughhouse
Well,
stuff?
It's not far away from it, is it? It's not far away from it, really, Dara. I'm not going to describe every one of them, but they were very cynical, very late. That's De Jong. He was in trouble 4 years ago. I think he should get booked for that. He doesn't go for the ball at all. In fact, he has the ball, and he still goes for Busquets. There's another one, Schneider. Late, cynical, stupid, stupid. And I think, if they were to play Spain, they can actually open Spain up. But they've resorted to these kind of challenges, these kind of tackles. And in the end, Guzman gets booked, and rightly so. They should have been booked earlier on, and De Vrij as well gets booked. That's a late tackle as well coming in.
You try to close teams down, don't need to stop them playing, especially like Spain. But you don't go over the top as the Dutch have, and they did 4 years ago also. But they've probably seen from 4 years ago, we got at them, we took them to extra time. Let's close them down, let's get stuck into them. They don't really like it. But the Spanish will just keep popping it about and keep popping it about.
But it's not total football.
No.
It's total fouling.
Yeah. Like, are they going to finish with 11 on the field?
Not if they keep going the way they did. It reminds me a little of Brazil's performance in the Confederations Cup last season, or last year. What they call tactical fouling. This is the name for it now. It was a very cynical ploy to do your best to disrupt Spain from getting into any rhythm. Because you know that's how they want to play. They want to dictate the pace of the game and totally dominate possession. But if you get at them, and it's little petty stuff. It's pulling a jersey, shouldering players, little elbow off the ball. And because they're not particularly dangerous, any of the tackling, the referee let a lot of them go. We think we were 25 minutes in before we saw a yellow card.
But I'm with Liam on the one that he said that if the Dutch play football, they'll have a chance of getting something out of the game. But to keep going the way they are, they'll have nothing.
Maybe we'll see the introduction of the black card at the World Cup before the end of it. You never know. We've got another commercial break to take. We're back shortly with the second half of Spain against the Netherlands. Don't go away. Oh, great colour at the Arena Fonchanova in Salvador. 1-1 at half-time between the world champions Spain and the Netherlands in a repeat of the 2010 final. And we're going to go back into the action from the first half, Ronnie, and a big moment in the game. Silva's chance when they were leading 1-0.
Could have been the end of the game. A couple of minutes before half-time, you get a great ball from Iniesta and he's through. Now you'd think he's going to blast it in the bottom corner. Sometimes people get a bit too smart and trying to be clever. He didn't need to be clever. Just knock it in. 2-0. You go into half-time, the game, you've won it. Keeper does well, actually, to stand up for so long. But he had so much room on the left-hand side of the keeper to whip it in there. He hasn't. And then they go down and score straight away. Holland.
Yeah. The other chances, Richie, that the Dutch created in the first half.
Yeah, they had a couple of chances. They started the game with a really good chance. 7 or 8 minutes in, Sneijder finds himself one-on-one. Not too dissimilar from the chance Robin had in the World Cup final a few years ago. Casillas stands up and saves it. But I mean, it was a mistake there originally. Reacted very well. One-on-one. Again, against a team like Spain, you assume you're not going to get many chances like that. I mean, you've got to do better. Casillas just stood up. It was a comfortable enough save. It was relatively straight at him. A really good height for him. So those are the chances you've got to take if you're going to beat this Spain team. And here, good play between Robin and Blin on the left. It's a decent ball in and eventually goes in. Van Persie, I don't think thinks it's going to come to him. Didn't expect that miss from Ramos. But again, these are a couple of chances Holland had.
Yeah, they don't look too clever at the back.
No.
It's coming in around Ramos and Piqué all the time, isn't it? We've talked about many a year that they can be a bit dodgy, two centre-backs, and they're showing it tonight.
The Dutch tactics, Liam, you weren't impressed with them, but will Van Gaal, is there any reason to think that he will change it, that they'll go and try and play them? Ronnie agrees with you.
I think if he gets a draw out this game, Van Gaal will be delighted. And he'll probably have to defend that, but it's not what Dutch football is all about. You know, we criticised them in the World Cup final 4 years ago. I thought it was diabolical. And okay, it's not as bad tonight, but it's not Dutch football the way we know it.
We were led to believe in the build-up that we wouldn't see a repeat of what was seen in the World Cup final. And Van Gaal has said that it would be this return to more familiar Dutch style. Hasn't been that way so far. It's been disappointing, and yes, you can argue it's been relatively effective, particularly in the first 10 or 20 minutes, and obviously the scoreline is a decent one for Holland at this point, but disappointing to see players that can play football be sent out with instructions to play that way. I mean, this is a set of instructions. It's not a coincidence that a lot of players are all of a sudden turning to this style of play. They've been sent out by their manager to go out and kick and disrupt Spain, which very negative.
It's the flow of the play, isn't it? Yeah. The Spain love it, just passing and they're trying to stop them doing it.
Okay, guys, let's head back to Trevor and Peter in Salvador.